Cash Crew, we back for another week. We're going to have a lot of great discussions on this episode. But before we do that, how you feel, Vlad?
I'm good. Welcome back to another week's episode. This week, we got a little bit of something different this week. This is going to be the start of what we call our 101 series, which is going to consist of athletes, trainers, entertainers, all dealing with the sports industry, giving us a behind-the-scenes, in-depth look on what's going on in the sports industry. And this week, we have a special guest, once again, back again, from Atlanta, also from Chicago, because he has two homes now, from the Chicago Bears, DB, Kendall Vildor. How you doing?
Sir. Doing good, man. Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So this week, we're going to dive into more of the behind the scenes things you guys don't see on ESPN, the things you guys don't see on TV, of what's going on with a professional athlete's day-to-day and career. So this week's guest, of course, like I announced again, we have Kendall Vildor, defensive back for the Chicago Bears, going into his second year, just wrapped up his rookie year. And he's been honored to come on our show this week to talk about the whole experience from beginning to now and everything in between. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Currently, you're right now playing for Chicago Bears. You just wrapped up your first year, but let's take it back a couple years. Let the audience know where you came from, what high school you played for, and your journey just through your high school years.
Yeah, grew up in College Park, Georgia, went to North Clayton High School. The crazy thing is I didn't even play football my freshman year in high school. For some reason, I fell in love with basketball for something. I don't even know why. But then going into my sophomore year, going out there in the spring, fell back in love with it. My sophomore year spring, we're doing really good. We had a new coach, brand new coach and everything like that. They had me playing safety, and I was just balling, making plays, and sky was the limit for me.
Sosa, right?
Yep, Coach Sosa we had. Coach Sosa, yeah, he was big on me. He made me a captain as a 10th grader, so I had a big chip on my shoulder, just wanted to prove.
Hold on. So you went from not playing freshman year to be the captain sophomore year.
Yep, yeah, it was crazy, man.
There's a lot of things to be said back in those days about Coach Sosa, but one thing he knew who his best players were. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was so crazy. Like my sophomore year, we only had like 25. I don't even think we even had 30 players on the team, so we had a small team, man. So we were just scrapping and fighting, just trying to win games and stuff like that. And just trying to get players to come out there and help us win and everything. So it was real tough for us. Junior year, got a little better and stuff like that. And over time, we did what we did, and it was a fun journey, man. Just playing in North Clayton, all the friends I met and everything like that, the big support system that they have. So it was real fun.
Definitely. So because you guys had a small team, I'm assuming you played both sides of the ball, correct?
Yeah.
What positions did you play?
I play receiver, sometimes even little quarterback. So I mean, back then, like now, thinking about it, it's like, how did I even do that, man? 'Cause I was just like, now it's like, there's no way I think I can even do that.
Yeah.
But just looking back on it, how I was able to do that, it was just going out there having fun, man, just doing what I do, playing ball at the end of the day. So it was real fun.
Yeah, you remember, he actually was a kicker too.
Yep. At one point,
Did you do kickoff and punt returns?
Yeah, I think I did kickoff. I can't remember which year. Probably was sophomore year. Punter. I was the punter too.
Yeah, the punter.
Running fake punts. I ain't really punter. I just run the fake punts.
That's crazy.
They said they're going to keep
really
their best player on the field.
Yeah, so I was on the field.
And how many minutes were in per quarter in high school? 10?
Yeah, 10 if
So
I'm not
you played 40
mistaken. 10 or
minutes?
12. Yep.
Wow. Man, I don't know how you do it, man. I've been burnt out by game 5 of the season.
Nah, when you're 15, 16, you can run around all day. Not a big deal. You weren't worried about bills and nothing.
So let's fast forward. So you went from North Clayton, and then from North Clayton, before college, how many offers or what schools were reaching out to you your senior year?
I probably had about 17 or 20 offers. I probably started getting them going into my senior year that spring and stuff like that. Jacksonville State was my first offer, and then they just started rolling in. And a couple big schools was showing love toward the end of my football season at North Clayton, like Wake Forest, Georgia Tech was coming up to the school, Virginia, and everything like that. But ultimately, I ended up choosing Georgia Southern. So,
Okay. Any specific reason why Georgia Southern?
Close to home, and then it was a big opportunity for me to go in and possibly contribute and play early because they was losing a lot of people in their secondary and stuff like that. So they was in a way of building up the secondary, trying to find young guys to go in there and take over their roles. So I felt like it was a perfect opportunity for me, and it was close to home, so my family and friends still come see me say, and I can go home and everything like that.
I like that. So right out the gate, you get your opportunity to play right away. Also, close to home, definitely get your family, friends to see you. Definitely had a great time those 4 years.
That we did.
Saw a lot of football, a lot of games. But from my memory, the audience probably don't know this, but people say you are the reason why Trevor Lawrence got the chance to start. Let's talk about that. Your junior year, I believe it was the first game of the season, correct?
Third.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
third game of the season, early on in the season. You get a big pick, first play of the game against Kelly Bryant and those Clemson Tigers. Talk about that. This real quick, go through the play. What was going through your mind? Did you read the quarterback eyes? Did you read the play? What made you gamble? What made you jump?
Yeah.
I remember that play, but let the audience know.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, our defensive coordinator, Scott Sloan, he's still there as well. Like every morning before the game, he'll go over all the different formations that they do, just a little checkup, just to make sure everybody's still on the same page and everything, just make everything correct. And he had brought out that specific play, saying like when the tight end is right there and the wide receiver off the ball, that's a big screen alert. So I just kept that with me, just going into the game, and then they showed it early, and it clicked because we really literally just went over it. So when I seen it in my head, I already know like once I see the quarterback looking this way and the receiver going back, I'm just gonna go, and I was just able to play fast, and then I was able to make the play. But I already knew it was coming, so it was easy for me to make. So
I think that's important to talk about too, because the way you broke down the play, I don't think people understand how the better athletes are usually the students of the game. Like
Exactly.
They're not just out there playing off instinct. A lot of it, you do have instinctual things that go on, but a lot of film study.
Yep.
Like film study goes into it. You kept that with you, like you
Yep.
said. So you don't want to be thinking too much out there, but when you
Exactly.
recognize something, you got to act on it.
Yep.
And let it be what it be. If you didn't get the pick, you would have got a PBU.
Yep.
So people got to understand that too. It's not just talent that's going to take you, especially at the highest level.
Yeah, because I know my DB coach, my junior coach, Tipu, he always say the game is won from the neck up. So always taking the extra time to study your film, study your opponent to play off in the long run.
Absolutely. And then let's fast forward a little bit. Your senior year, you get the opportunity to play against that high octane LSU Tigers. Obviously, they won the national championship. You faced against Joe Burrows, Randy Moss' son. You played against Chase.
Yeah.
Was it both Chases?
Yeah,
Or
Jefferson.
Jamar and the one that got drafted this year and the other one that plays for Minnesota?
drafted with
Jefferson and
Jefferson.
Jamar.
And Leonard Fournette's brother.
Yeah, he actually was there too. Yep.
So you
Loaded
played
team.
against a lot of which now are pros.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that. I remember that game. One of the biggest games on you guys' calendar that year, your senior year. I want to say at least 70,000 people in the stands.
Oh yeah, that thing
for
was
that
rocking.
game.
First game of the season too.
First game of the season. Yep, in Baton Rouge. How was it? I saw you across the field. You played a little bit of the right. You played a little bit of the left. How was it matching up against these high-profile receivers?
Yeah, it was real fun. I mean, going into that game, it was the first game of the season, and they had a completely new offense because they had a brand new offensive coordinator that came from the Saints and stuff like that. So we really didn't know what they were going to run and everything like that. So when we finally got out there, they was running a little bit of everything out there, like stuff that I'm seeing now in the NFL. They was running in college that year. So those guys like Jamar, Justin, and Burrow, I mean, they was clicking on all cylinders and everything, man. Those guys are really athletic, man. You can see do what they're doing right now in the NFL. So it was a challenge and everything like that, but I was able to go out there and compete and show the different scouts what I can do and everything. So
it was Jamar Chase on the left and Justin Jefferson on the right, correct? And then
yeah.
Moss at tight end.
Yep. Justin played like a lot of slot too. So
And
I seen him a
NFL
little bit.
offense, basically.
Yeah, it was.
Crazy.
I mean,
Those
they had
all
weapons.
those guys in the NFL.
Yeah, they had weapons all over the field.
They did.
Yeah, it was kind of, I remember that from that night. The fans weren't really that. Usually, like at Clemson, I know Clemson was talking big cash when we were there. But LSU, I think everybody was just happy, first game of the season, drunk.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so nobody was really talking trash. And it's Georgia Southern, so they were just like, you know,
It is what it is.
we weren't really trying to. We already winning. There's no reason to really make a big stink about it. But yeah, that's funny. When you said he was going to ask him about this, I was like, do we really want to talk about that game? Because if I recall the score,
yeah,
it was over
I
quick.
think it was like
Real
55-3. I think
know.
that's what it was. So,
Exactly.
but you guys were competing to the end for sure. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Now, I think this is the part where a lot of people want to get some insight on because you don't really get to see this on TV. You got invited to the combine.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get invited to the combine to go to the draft, but you got your invitation. You went out to Indy and you performed. You put up big numbers.
Killed it.
If I'm not mistaken, you actually ranked top 10 in multiple categories for your position.
Yeah.
So
And top 3 in many of them as well.
correct. And I think one of the biggest one that stood out to a lot of people, also scouts, was your bench press. So if you just want to touch base on the combine, just basically how does the combine work a little bit? Were you nervous? What did you like about it, didn't like about it? And maybe some pros that you got to touch base on or talk to while you was there, and how that led up to where you are now in your career.
Yeah, started first with at the actual combine training. I was able to train at Michael Johnson's Performance in Texas. They had a really good program that we worked out 6 times a week, working on agility, strength, speed, position work as well. So shouts out to them for getting me right for that opportunity to go to the combine. And the combine, it's real busy. I mean, everybody think you just show up and you do the drills and stuff like that. That's all they see. But behind the closed doors, it's meetings, medical. It's just a long process, and it's actually kind of draining. It is because you got to get up early and stuff like that. But in the long run, it pays off when you're able to go out there and perform and show all your hard work playing off.
So time wise, real quick,
Let's say
start to end.
So we got there on a Wednesday.
Okay.
And we didn't do the actual combine stuff till Sunday.
Wow.
So that was like kind of.
And you're up at what time?
Probably around 7 o'clock. Like one day you might have the drug test. You got to go to the medicals, go through all those different procedures. Like if you have any injuries, they're gonna check you out. If they might have to get an MRI, those take almost an hour. So they got to get an MRI on you. That's gonna be another hour on top of it all. You got to do extra, and just
So you just jumping from bus to bus.
Just meetings with the teams, all the coaches and stuff like that. They want to talk to you, get to know what kind of person you are. So it's a real long process. It is, man, just to get to where this next level and everything.
And I know they were checking on you too because of the tweaked ankle. That you had.
I had to get an MRI on that. You go in a room, it's about 20 doctors in there. You just laying on the table and everybody touching on you, making sure. It's crazy, man. Everybody touching on you, making sure you're right, because they about to invest their money into you, so they got to make sure that you're healthy. So it was crazy.
All right. This quick question: was there anyone there, whether offense or defense, that you maybe never played your 4 years at college, or you never really seen live, and you just saw him on the field and you're like, yo, that dude is a freak of nature, or that dude's a beast? Any athlete that was there from your memory? Yeah,
probably my friend Jeremy Chen. I had met him when I was training at MJP, and I never knew he played at a small school at Southern Illinois.
Okay.
So I never knew who he was, and so I started working out with him and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, this kid is crazy, man. 6'3", 220 pounds, went to the combine, ran 4.4, jumped 40-inch vertical,
Jesus.
11 feet broad jump. I mean, it was crazy, man.
Feet?
Yeah, just to see him do that at his size, man. That's why he went as size he did, second round, coming from that school, and he had a tremendous rookie year he did in Carolina. So probably Jeremy Chen, man, he was a real freak of nature.
Which is crazy because now who they drafted, like, there's just gonna be
JC,
lockdown. JC and him.
That's gonna be crazy. Yep.
All right. And I think, a month from there, the big day.
Yep. Draft.
Unfortunately, you guys had the first COVID draft ever. But you still got to experience it.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Shoot. Yeah, just like the combine, man. Just a long process, man.
I
Nerve wracking. You don't know what's gonna happen.
3 days.
You just watching the TV, man. You just anxious. You just ready to get the call and everything. So it was a long process, man. Just sitting and waiting, and then when you finally get that call, it's like, she's finally over with, man. I'm just ready to go out and ball, man. So yeah, it's a long process, man, but it's worth it though.
Absolutely.
Everyone had their job. You know, people were bringing in the food for entertainment, but I think everyone was on one accord in terms of we all wanted to keep his spirits high.
Yeah.
We can tell. We've been around someone their whole life. You can tell the longer this it wore on.
Yeah.
You know, we asking, you know, you straight? He always going to say, yeah, I'm good. But you want to hear your name called. So it's just wearing on. I mean, we on our third outfit at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know how many more I got. So, like, if the camera's finna come and see us, we got to be, we on white tees at this point. So, it's just like, it was cool to see that behind the scenes, too, because then when I remember, I don't know if you remember the actual moment. When the call came in, talk about that actual moment. I mean, because I want to hear yours, and then I'm gonna tell you how it felt on my side.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like it was unreal, man. Like seeing the phone actually ring, and I'm looking at it. It say like a Philadelphia number. I'm like, is this the Eagles or something like that?
I wish.
So I picked up the phone. It was on the head coach, Coach Nagy. He was just talking to me and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, man, I already don't even remember what he said. I'm just like, I know I'm getting the call right now. And then after that, hung up. I just told everybody with the Bears and then just going to hug my mom and everything like that. And then that's when all the emotion just came out of nowhere. So, yeah.
I remember, man, because OD was there and his girls were there too.
Yep.
So they, you know, at the time they were much younger than they were. I mean, a year younger, but, you know, Hazel was the one making all the noise and stuff. And so when the phone call came in, like, I don't know who was sitting next to you. I think it was Coach next to you, Coach Hill.
Yeah.
And then a little ways away, it was me. OD was behind you.
Yeah, OD.
And then you had
Bird.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Is it?
It's my Bird song, Justin.
No, not Bird. I'm thinking about the other DB from Georgia State.
Quay.
Quay. I was gonna say Quay. So Quay was there too, and we were just kind of waiting. When the call came in, we all looked at everybody. Was like, hush. And then it just cracked me up because Hazel don't know what's going on. She's like, and if you look at the video, I'm hoping everybody that's listening to the podcast, go back to the video. You'll hear her in the background, like, because her mom trying to hush her up, and she's like, no, you know, she's trying to play. She don't know what's going on. So it felt like just time stood still. And while he's on the phone, we just hush. And then the moment came, he hung up and he said, it's the Bears. Let's get it, boy. We went crazy. Because I'm like, Chicago? Man, I ain't never been to Chicago. That is the wildest part. It was surreal.
Yeah.
Last question before we move on. At what moment did you know the NFL was within reach? Was it high school? Was it
good question.
First year of college, last year of college? Was it draft day?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in high school, like, you think about it, but you really don't really just be like, oh, yeah, NFL. But I'll probably say during my sophomore year, when I started playing a lot, got to start the last 5 games and everything like that.
High school or college?
College.
Okay.
And I was making a lot of plays and everything like that. And I know one coach, his name was Coach Bastion. I think he's actually a cornerback coach at Marshall now, if I'm not mistaken. And he was just like, man, you keep doing what you do, man. You gonna make it and stuff like that. So going into my junior year, had a real big junior year, and that's when all the accolades and stuff like that was coming in, and everybody was just finally noticing who I am. So I'm like, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this thing probably finna get real, and people was actually trying to see if I was going to come out and stuff like that and everything. So I had to make a decision on that. So that's around that time when I knew it was finna happen.
So I know you just said one more before we go into the break, but speaking of that, what made you not go out that year? Because you was hot at that time.
Yeah.
And people thought that you were going to come out.
Yeah. Really, the grade, they had like a low grade on me coming out. So I know I could have improved it with like a good combine, so like I did, just like I had my senior year. But I just thought if I just come back, mold up a little bit more, get invited to the Senior Bowl and stuff like that, that can even help me get noticed even more. So that would play a big part of me coming back.
That's crazy because most people wouldn't have bet on themselves, or it would have backfired on them.
Yeah.
You know, you had a great hot junior year. You would think, hey, ride the wave, go right into the draft. But some people say if you go back for another year, you might not have a great year. You actually topped it. You made Senior Bowl your last year. Conference team.
Yeah.
Defensive team.
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, you was one of the leading DBs in tackles.
Yeah.
And you got drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think if anything, you made the right decision.
Definitely.
Yeah, a lot of
Definitely
people
going
just
for
saying,
one more year to season yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, like, was it a fluke the year before?
yeah.
Was it a fluke? Can you do it again?
Can you do it again? Yeah. Definitely.
So we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back again after our break. Let's go into some questions, rapid fire. There are some things that we want to get into, the things that everyone wants to know. I know I have one question that I know everyone wants to know, but go ahead, Vlad. You can start with your questions.
So when all said and done, right, you know, you play your 10 plus years in the league, you're a vet now, and your career is winding down. What would you want under your resume, as a football player at least, be when they see Kendall Vildor?
I'll probably say, the main one is getting that Super Bowl ring, man. I feel like playing the NFL, that's really, really tough, getting that Super Bowl ring, because it's truly a team effort, and everybody have to be clicking on all cylinders. So that would be a huge accomplishment. That'd be crazy, man. I feel like all the individual stuff would take care of itself, and just me going out there, putting my talents on display, and just doing what I do. And I know individual accolades will come when it comes. So, but most importantly, that
So
Super Bowl ring.
No defensive player of the year.
Bro, yeah, that is
you
gonna
got
come.
one
It's
on your
gonna
team.
come. I know, right? Yeah,
It's gonna be hard to take that away from him. He's been in the previous one.
Yeah,
but
looking up, just following him too, seeing what he's doing, just trying to make my footsteps like his. So,
well, I'll give you my predictions for you. Minimum 5-time Pro Bowler. All Pro.
yeah,
Minimum 3 times. Defensive team 5 times. 5 times or more in the playoffs. Super Bowl. And that's my predictions for you.
Yeah.
And 10 years plus in the
that
league.
sound good. That sound real good.
I can tell you that 10 years, that was something that was said by his agent. Shout out to Kevin and Rob, Universal family. But he said that already. He said, we had a conversation during your pro day. It was me, Coach Lunsford, and Kevin. And we were just sitting there talking, and Kev was like, yeah, he's a 10-year pro already. The way he was raving about your when you went to Dallas. He was like, man, I'll tell you what, I've had some prima donnas before, people that don't want their yogurt because it got strawberries in it. But I literally dropped him off at the airport, and then I didn't hear from him. I was actually wondering if he was still alive. But he took care of business. He understood this was a business trip. So a lot of those things, man, that 10-year vet, that's probably, he's carrying himself like he's a 10-year vet already.
Absolutely. Working out every day.
Trying to get it in.
Every day. You don't miss a day. So now, you played your first full season. Got the rookie rust off you. Mm-hmm. Everybody's saying the NFL, your second year is over, your sophomore slump, but I don't believe in that. Tell me, what's predictions for you and your team? Second year going in, 2021-2022 season.
Yeah, team. I feel like we're gonna build off what we did last year. How we was clicking on all cylinders early on in the year.
Especially at the end.
Started off good. And at the end. So I think we're gonna build off that. Just trying to get back to those playoffs, man. Because once you get in there, it's anybody's game, man. It's no records, all the records out the door and stuff like that. So
0-0.
Just make sure we get into the playoffs and stuff like that. So, and just me individually, I got a big opportunity to come in and play. We got with the new stuff with the cap and stuff like that. We had to release some players and everything like that. So I'm just ready to come in and just show the coaches and everybody else that what I can do and what I'm capable of, and that's being a starter in this league. So that's what I hold myself to, and that's what I'm working forward to.
Okay. So your team had a good draft this year. You guys made a big splash.
Not just draft, man. Off season was fantastic for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, people just because there's so many things that happen, people forgot Marquise Goodwin.
Yep.
Like they got some players now for sure.
Now, I think it's safe to say Chicago's not a defensive team only.
Facts.
If you look on the other side of the ball, you guys got Montgomery at the running back position. You got Allen Robinson. You got Marquise Goodwin. And now the big acquisition that everybody's waiting to see is Justin Fields is your new quarterback.
Yeah.
I know you're not on the offensive side of the ball, but I'm pretty sure being his teammate, this is something to be happy to look forward to. Another young guy. I'm from Georgia, just like you.
Yeah.
Actually up the way from me, down the street. Went to school down the street from where I live. So very, very exciting. Obviously, he's one of my favorite players in this draft. I'm an Ohio State fan, but also he did play. He's a Georgia native. Let's speak on that. How you feel about your new teammate, your new quarterback? Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm happy and I'm excited for him, man. I mean, I know he's gonna come in with that chip on his shoulder, man. Because I feel I know he feels like a lot of teams slept on him, man. All these other quarterbacks going in front of him. He is a great quarterback himself, man. So I know he's gonna have that chip on his shoulder and just ready to prove everybody wrong. And I know that's gonna be fuel to his fire. And I'm excited to see what he does. I know he's gonna do great things, man. Just because of that, and he's just an awesome quarterback and football player. So that's gonna be real interesting to see how he does, man. And I'm excited for him.
Starts in camp, man. You got to beat out the people that are in front of him. Just because you know they drafted him, they love him, doesn't mean anything because it's a prove it league. And what have you done for me lately? Chad Lunsford actually started letting you guys know that before you got to the league. When was the acronym? What's important now? And so what's important now, Justin Fields, is put up or shut up time. You got to win that role.
Absolutely. I think that's the expectations now for the Chicago Bears. You guys have a superb defense. And for the most part, most of your pieces are coming back again this year. You guys definitely revamped that offense. You got your quarterback. You added another weapon alongside Allen Robinson on the receiver position. Montgomery's coming back. He had a big year last year. I think, honestly, especially if Mr. A-Rod leaves your division, you guys have a great chance this year to win the division, make the playoffs, and make a run in the playoffs. I think there's probably 2 or maybe 3 teams that can definitely, obviously, you got Tampa coming back again, the reigning Super Bowl champs. You have Seattle, as long as Russell Wilson stay there. And you'll have Green Bay, obviously, if Aaron Rodgers stay there. But if Aaron Rodgers leave, I know most of you guys are going to pray that he goes to the AFC. But if he leaves, I think the division is up to grabs between you guys and Minnesota, possibly.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys definitely have some work cut out for you guys. But in the way I see the Chicago Bears constructed this year, definitely a team in the NFC to not sleep on. Definitely, for sure.
So let's dip into the speed round. We got a bunch of questions to ask that, 30-second answers, 30 seconds to a minute. Just get straight to it. All right, 5. Is it 5 of them that you have?
Yeah, 5 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Question number 1. Give us 5 previous or present receivers you would like to match up against.
I'll probably say Julio Jones. Going back, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. Let's see who else we got.
That's a good one.
Odell.
Woo. Do y'all guys play the Browns this year?
We actually do. So
and he'll be back. He'll be back off injury.
Oh man, you gonna match up against him?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Let's see. Calvin Johnson. Megatron. Can't forget about him.
No. Pause right there. Megatron's my favorite player. Not favorite player. Wide receiver of all time. If Megatron was playing right now, just real quick, how would you match up against him? Because obviously, no offense, but he has the frame and the height over you. Would you get physical with him? Would you use speed?
I'll probably play a little soft off cover because I feel like he wouldn't be able to outrun me and everything like that. So I'll just use my speed.
He ran a 4.4 with no cleats.
So did he.
With no cleats and a broken foot.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna have to be best man win, man. It's gonna be a good one.
I like that.
At the end, what wins? Technique.
Right. And then give us your last one, number 5.
Number 5 probably be Jerry Rice, old school. See what he looking like.
Them hips.
So yeah,
definitely. I like that.
You got to be different to come out of the HBCU and still ball in the league.
Absolutely.
Mississippi Delta. That's where he went.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Your 5 favorite DBs of present or past?
I gotta go first. Brent Grimes, real explosive, former Atlanta Falcon too.
I like that.
And Miami Bucks.
Underrated.
Yep. Right now, I like to watch Davius White,
Trey.
Marshawn Lattimore as well. I'll probably say I actually been watching Darius Williams, the other cornerback from LA, number 31, that had like a real good year. He had about 4 picks, small guy, not that big, but just seeing his play aggressive, making plays all over the ball. And last one, Dion. Can't forget about Dion.
Absolutely, prime time. All right. 3 quarterbacks you would like to face against, whether you played them already, or whether they retired already, you played them already, or you will play them in the future.
I'll probably say Matt Ryan, just because I grew up in Atlanta. We played him last year, but I didn't really play much defense early in the season. I actually really want to go against Matt Ryan.
Pick off the hometown.
Cam Newton, just to be from the same area and everything like that. Played on his 707 team and everything. And probably Lamar Jackson. And we actually played in Ravens this year too, I believe. So
Wow.
Yeah.
You getting a lot of bucket list stuff that you need to check off real quick.
I like that. Last but not least, a defensive lineman, a linebacker, 2 DBs,
All right.
and 2 safeties that you, whether past or present, that you play with all time.
You said D-line, linebacker, and
Another corner, because obviously you played the other side,
okay.
and then 2 safeties.
okay, D-line, Aaron Donald off the rip.
Oh man.
Linebacker probably be Luke Kuechly.
Woo. All time? Come on, you pick some people in the past.
Luke Kuechly's tough.
I like
He's
Luke.
tough,
Luke.
I mean, no Ray Lewis.
Yeah, Ray Lewis. I feel like he kind of knows old
Patrick
school.
Willis.
Who, Kuechly?
No, Ray Lewis, old school. Just
Yeah.
I feel like Luke can might. Well, Ray Lewis was fast too, though. But I mean, both of them up there for sure.
Okay.
Luke Kuechly, he real smart too. I mean, he calling out the plays before. He already know what's coming.
For sure.
Let me see. Safety.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that video.
Him and Cam, yeah. So you watching film, huh? Watch this.
You playing right side or left side?
I'm playing on the left side.
So who's gonna play on the right side?
Let's see who's gonna play with me. Darrell Reeves.
Reeves Island,
Darrell Reeves.
Mr. I Travel. Okay.
Let me
And
see
give
my
me
safeties.
last but not least, your safety nets, your 2 safeties in the back.
Ed Reed. I'm going somebody like Bob Sanders, the small feisty safety.
So we got the coverage,
Yeah,
the
big
pick,
hitter.
and the hit.
Yeah. I was going to say Troy Polamalu.
Forgot about Trump on the moment.
Yeah. But Bob Sanders is tough for many years.
Yeah.
He was the one that anchored that defense with another guy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. He was on D-line, and I just remember his face from when we were touring trying to get agent signed with the agent. He was on the wall. I just can't remember what his name is right now, but I'll figure it out. Continue.
Well, that's all the questions we got for you. We appreciate you coming through. Now you guys got inside scoop on the journey of Mr. Kendall Vildor from early amateur time in his career to now a professional with the Chicago Bears. We appreciate you coming on our show, giving some insight to our audience. And again, be sure to stay tuned to future episodes as we continue on with our one-on-one series, as we dive and dig deep into different athletes, scouts, trainers, and coaches, and give you insight on all the stuff that happens behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, and see you next time.
Just one thing, my bad. I meant to ask this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Just one thing. If you could talk to the young DB right now that's in high school, just starting out, what advice would you give to them? And that'll be, you'll have the last word, and then we'll head out after that.
Probably say, make sure you're doing good in school. I mean, it start with the books. If you got your grades doing good, you can do anything, man. When the coaches come and everything, or you don't have nothing to worry about. And I'll probably just say, start on that technique early. I mean, I didn't really start focusing on my technique for real probably until like sophomore year in college. I mean, and I'm able to do what I do now. But I feel like if I was to maybe start even earlier, I mean, could have even probably went to a bigger school or different things like that. So really focus on that technique. And if you got your position, make sure you focus on that and get it down pat. And then now it's a lot of different trainers out right now that you can go ahead and work on that game.
Yeah, no excuses.
Growing up, we didn't really have all that, but just gotta take advantage of all your resources, man, because it's a lot out right now.
Yeah, there you
Absolutely.
have it.
So
There you
there
have
you
it,
have
young
it.
DBs.
Heard it from a professional himself, so to let you guys know that if you got your mindset on your goal, you definitely can make it. And for all athletes out there, whether DBs, basketball, football, swimming, lacrosse, tennis, hey, this man said himself he wasn't the number one recruited person, but now he's a professional.
Yeah.
And he is where he is now. So, again, thanks for listening to this episode, and we catch you next time.
All right, Cash Crew. Till next time.